Hi, everyone. I'm Larissa Summers, SVP Marketing at Aptoro. Thanks so much for joining us for another returns report. Today, I'm really excited to announce a brand new team member at Aptoro who joins us after an incredibly impressive retail career, Ben Sales, who is our new solutions advisor. Ben, great to have you on today to talk about returns and the impacts COVID has had on returns in brick and mortar. But before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I mean, as you said, just joining the team. So I've been with IKEA Home Furnishings for about the last 29 years. Bulk of those years really spent working in the retail stores. You've seen them. It's the big blue and yellow stores. Can't miss them. In the stores, various commercial leadership positions, always with the customer in focus. And then the last few years, working more at a national or global level on business development solutions that would really enhance the customer experience, both in the store and then online as well.
Well, and IKEA being such an impressive retail conglomerate worldwide, really excited to hear your perspective on the impact that COVID has had specifically on returns and specifically with the in-store experience, where you've spent so much of your time in various capacities. So we recently just conducted a data survey to better understand how consumer sentiment is how they're feeling and thinking about coming back to the stores, particularly as it relates to returns. Can you walk us through some of the insights on the data that we found in that survey?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our survey showed right from the beginning that 66% of people, they actually prefer to return in the store. Obviously, that's not an option right now with COVID and the lockdown. Because of that preference, though, really a third of those shoppers overall are actually holding on to the returns and then waiting for the quarantine to open, or the quarantine to dissipate and then the stores to reopen. I mean, if you take IKEA as an example, and other large retailers as well, they're seeing that behavior. And then that really means that retailers, they need to be prepared for that large increase of returns once consumers feel it's safe to venture out. Initially retailers, they stopped accepting returns, either because they didn't have the ability to ramp up with the e-com returns, or quite honestly, they didn't have the staff in place to handle it anymore because of layoffs or, furloughs, etc. So also, I mean, retailers are also extending their return policies to allow consumers to complete their returns in store, which helps those that can wait. But unfortunately, that doesn't really help those that need their money back today or back into their wallet today.
Well, and it's interesting how even in a time of such turmoil and uncertainty, retailers are still really prioritizing a customer experience by extending their policies, trying to figure out how to deal with the added safety precautions that are going to be necessary for taking returns back. So what do you anticipate is going to happen in stores with respect to taking those returns back and how they're going to balance safety and experience for the customer?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, those people that can't wait, I mean, eventually they're gonna have to give in and mail in their returns. So we'll see the overall mail in or e-commerce returns as a percentage of overall really increase. And then, our research also has been showing that almost half of consumers will continue to mail in their returns even after the stores reopen, as they don't feel safe moving back into some of those public places. Again, if I talk about IKEA, they have reported that their e-com sales have dramatically risen, depending on country to country. And we're talking anywhere from 60 to 200%, which is a steep increase for any retailer. Basically, I mean, if we're honest, it really came overnight or over the span of a week. So again, it reinforces the need for retailers to ensure that their online experiences are airtight from end to end.
And it'll be interesting to see where some of these behaviors are going to persist on the consumer side, even after COVID is hopefully a distant memory at some point. But, obviously a lot of financial uncertainty for people with, job losses and just being, really conservative with their spending in certain categories. So discretionary spending has really been constricted in a lot of categories. What are you seeing there in retail?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, right? The rise of just the essential purchases, that'll continue, right? Impulse spending will go down. That extra pair of shoes that you wanted, or that extra pair of jeans, if I'm talking about myself personally, like 35% of people in the 18 to 29 range said that their return was really due to budget constraints. So again, people are going to be much more cognizant of where their purchases are being made. Initially in the quarantine, purchases were made based on availability, but as things have progressed and the supply chain has been able to catch back up, consumers are sticking more to brands where they have the emotional connection. So their trusted brand, right? And that comes again from that shopping experience that they find to be a trusting experience. So retailers that are in a great position to weather the storm with their consumers, they're going to fare well. But then, as I've mentioned before, retailers that don't have a good positive end-to-end experience or online shopping experience, they could expect to lose their consumers' loyalty quite quickly. That'll be quite tough. I mean, so if I think of retailers, I mean, a little bit of a plug for Optoro here, but I mean, retailers that are using Optoro's return solution, I mean, they can benefit from our partnership with Returnly, which allows us to power an end-to-end return solution, but then also give instant credit back to the consumer. So again, if you think that 18 to 29-year-old category, I mean, that puts their money right back in their wallet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, we have seen a lot of talks accelerate around getting a really good returns experience built, because it was always a conversation that was important to retail. But now with the surge in e-commerce, there's a surge in returns, and there's going to be a surge in brick and mortar once it's open and people are coming back. And that experience has to be tight, because like you said, you have to build this relationship with your consumers. If you don't have it and you're not giving them something somebody else is, they're going to go to somebody else. So it's important to get it right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely as that shift moving from brick and mortar to e-com, I mean, we expect that that's going to stay now. That could be the new norm. So, I mean, the acceleration was happening, but retailers absolutely did not expect it to happen this fast. And then they're reaching that level that they were going to be at in 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, and that it's now, and they can expect that it'll stay that way. So again, I mean, they need to be more and more prepared to handle that volume, and then agile enough to handle it and then return it as well.
Yep. Well, Ben, thanks so much for lending your expertise and your insights to the returns report today. For all of you watching, if you want to get more information, look at some of the stats we talked about, and also some that we didn't, go ahead and download that data report. The links are included in this post. And thanks for joining, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, everyone.